Yep, that's me. Absolutely getting rear-ended by a diesel. It sucks. Yeah, it turns out I have a weird knack with finding myself in these situations. If you haven't seen the last video, go ahead and watch it. But yeah, no, I was at an intersection 1 second, in the middle of an intersection the next. Why? Because a diesel decided today's my day. Today is the day whenever he gets to take me out and get to claim, I guess, life insurance or his retirement or something, who cares? But honestly, this wasn't even that bad. Because it sounds bad, but you know, this is kind of a speed run on getting a new car. Because the car I had at the time was an old 2007 Prius, and after this I had a really nice 2014 Prius, because turns out getting rear-ended at an intersection where their light was red for a good while and you were perfectly stopped is a fantastic way to get a new car. Well, as long as you survive it, that is. But yeah, no, this guy just like came up behind me and just rammed me straight into the intersection though, and like, you know how, like I said in the previous video, time just kind of stops. Like it like slows down whenever you have these kinds of situations where you're trying to like figure out what it is that even just happened, and you're just like, the adrenaline's rushing and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. But yeah, no, it's an interesting situation to have to try to explain unless you've been in it, because 1 second I'm like, oh man, I just got rear-ended, I can't believe this is crazy. But then I looked back at the vehicle that hit me, which at this point wasn't really look back, it was more look to the left, because this guy had absolutely rear-ended me and kept going. Like, he kept going into the intersection. He was right next to me whenever I looked over, and I was like, dude, how fast were you going? We were in a 35, mind you. This was a 35 out in the middle of nowhere, and this guy apparently decided that brakes were optional. And he had to choose to do that when he was behind me. Come on. But yeah, no. But I could see from how he was looking that I had done very little to him, and he had done the entire back end of my car. Like, we pulled into this little gas station off to the side because somehow my car could still drive. Big shout out to Prius. The Priuses are great because my vehicle, for some reason after this, was still going. So much so that in my stupidity, I drove that car home, and it was a 45-minute drive on the highway. Who lets somebody drive a recently wrecked car 45 minutes back to their house with the entire back end dented in? And the thing is, I passed so many cops on the way, none of them stopped me. My whole trunk was open like a foot because the actual mechanism that was supposed to keep it closed sprung open on me while I was driving home. And it did it early on, but that little metal knob at the bottom that's supposed to be holding that shut, I guess it broke or dented or something, but it was holding it shut initially, so it was kind of dented, and then it just went and just decided to give up on life. And you know what? I agree. It had done its job as best as it could, and it was its time to get out of there. But yeah, no. So like I was saying though, this guy, when I looked to my left, he was just there. He was there. His bumper was slightly dented. And I remember he looked so mad at me. He was looking through the window and he just looked so upset. And I'm like, why are you the upset one? You hit me. You risked my whole existence. Why are you the one who looks pissed off? And I get it now, because obviously, like, he knew his career was donezo, and that's why he was so upset with it. But yeah, he rushed out of his diesel, and he was just livid that I had done something wrong. Like, he was insistent that somehow this was my fault, even though that light was red, even though every camera caught him, even though the cop that was helping us had seen the accident and already told me that I was in the clear and that it was the diesel's fault, which turns out didn't even have a dash cam. As somebody who did that field for a little bit, that is a bare minimum. You need a dash cam. But it's either a case that he didn't have one, it was malfunctioning, or highest likelihood he was actively hiding it from whatever company he was driving for and just saying that it didn't exist. Because I'm assuming that that company was not very pleased with him that day. But yeah, no, his front end was just kind of dinged in though. He looked like he had done nothing. Like, that's the real horrors of diesels. I don't know if anybody watching this maybe acknowledges that from time to time, but like, yeah, that guy barely got any damage at all, like at all, and he destroyed my whole back end, and that's with him dodging me a bit and also going kinda slow. I could only imagine what would have happened if he hadn't just dodged me a bit and I hadn't just got his fender, and instead he just decided to go full send into me, because that would have been bad. And he was hauling some nice boats too. I bet those boats were damaged. Like, I got the scariest letter of my life whenever I got home from that because of those boats, because they sent me a letter that's like, hey, we're just letting you know that we're investigating this, and as of right now the damages are like 100,000 plus. Like, I remember them being eye-boggling high because these boats got damaged that he was hauling, and they were kind of yachty looking boats. Like, they're not really yachts, but they're like the small lake man yachts. And yeah, so I was like, oh no. Please don't let this be on me. I knew that it wasn't too, but I was like, please, I cannot afford to pay that in any way. Yeah, but no, that's how I almost died to a freaking diesel deciding today's your day, sonny. So watch out anytime you see an old diesel behind you, because it's probably driven by an old person and they don't seem to like to press the brakes.